Warning. The following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that might be considered disturbing, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to, especially if you are wearing headphones. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and two parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming, unlike my regular videos where I have the opportunity to edit them out as best as I can. And even then, I can't really edit them out, you know. So yeah, if you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my edited pre-recorded videos instead. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, viewer discretion is advised for a lot of things. But, hey. So there we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of whatever this is, the Daphne Lage draw stream, Wednesday draw stream. I don't know. Like I said, I've been doing this for 3 years now. If I haven't figured out a title for it by now, I'm not going to. So you guys know what you're coming for. So let's see who's joining me today. Oh, hello, Joseph. Hello. Welcome. And yes, I see you, my beautiful eyeball people watching me from regions beyond. If you are joining me from Facebook, if you're joining me from Facebook, just come over to YouTube. Join Joseph in the chat. Keep him company. And while you're here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever any of my streams and videos go live. So let me see. Let me just orient myself to this. I really wish that Streamyard would come up with like a better way to organize everything. Every time, I mean, it's like what? I only do this stuff like twice, 3 times a week, and I'm always looking for stuff. So oh my goodness. So I guess we might as well just get this started, So hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
You really want to know my process?
Absolutely.
Usually starts with a holla and ends with a creamsicle.
And then if there's time in between, Thundercats. Ho!
And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales. I would like to thank everybody who pledged to the campaign. It closed Friday. It closed Friday. And I just want to thank everybody for for making this campaign perform a lot better than I was expecting. But we could talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But yeah, so thank you everybody who pledged to the campaign. I am still putting together files, just tweaking everything, making sure everything is correct, and I should be sending them out soon. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy drama, EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, which returns to Kickstarter in less than a month. Actually, June 10th to be exact. EGORAVEN Volume 2, which collects issues 5 through 8 of this 15-issue series. So the link is in the show notes, and it is also in the chat. If you want to check it out, the pre-launch page is live. So sign up so that you get notified when the campaign goes live. And I am also, I am also co-host with Nita Landing on the Rage Into the Vlogs show every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Indie Comics Network. It's just an hour and a half of just us talking about whatever it is that comes to mind, but mostly anything related to indie comics most of the time. Last episode, I was talking a little bit about my insoles. So we could talk about anything on that show. And also in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can check. And also, what am I doing? Oh, yes, you can check out everything at egoworks.com. You can read Tall Tales and EGORAVEN for free. Jesus Christ, I'm not Englishing today. And also, you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channel here at Daphne Lage Art. That's Lage, which, like I said, also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So, because I repeat myself, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever any of my shows go live. And also, I'd like to announce that it seems that today is my YouTube versary, I guess. I have been on YouTube for 9 very long years. Yeah, so I guess like sometime like 9 years ago, I posted the very first test video. It was of me inking a page from Tall Tales, just to see what it would be like. Sometimes you just have to kind of like just do it. It has no sound and no audio. It's like the lighting is shit, but sometimes you just have to do it just to kind of like break the ice. It's kind of like drawing in that first page in a brand new sketchbook. You just got to do it to break it in and just kind of like, just do it, like in the end, it's like, the saying, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So 9 years ago, I took one treacherous step onto YouTube. And right now, 9 years later, I have just over 1,000, almost 1,030 subscribers and 500 plus videos and streams in the archive. That doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, yeah, it does actually. Well, yeah, 500 videos sounds like a lot, considering that I've seen channels hit like 100,000 subscribers with just like 10 videos, but it's like we're doing different things. It's like I'm not exactly a very what is it? It's like I'm not really like doing anything to chase an algorithm or anything. So it's like, they have all these rules for YouTube that you have to like post at least once a week, and it has to be at the same time, and you have to have a schedule and this. And I'm like going, I'm too old for that shit. Look, you're just lucky I'm streaming. Honestly, I think if it wasn't for streaming, I wouldn't be as active on YouTube. Oh, hey, Melissa. Hello. Yes, let's do that inking. Oh, and thank you for hitting that pre-launch button on my Kickstarter for Volume 2. I'm really excited to get that out. I just sent out the files to the printer to get proofs. So hopefully by the end of the month, I'll have a proof of Volume 2. I'm very excited. It's like, when it comes to trade paperbacks, I'm halfway through it. It's just really nice, as you can see on the screen right here. That's the artwork for the cover of Volume 2. Like I said, it collects issues 5 through 8. And what we're going to be working on today is kind of sort of the cover for Volume 3. I have been penciling I have been full steam ahead on penciling the rest of the series, and I have the pencils and the letters completed for Volume 3, which is 9 through 12, out of a 15 issue series. So I am also currently on issue 13 as well. I'm just about halfway done. I thought I was going to finish that on Monday, get the 16 pages done, but it didn't work out. So, but I am pretty just shy under 16, like halfway through penciling issue 13. I think, that's going to be a really big issue for me, because it's like it's the start of the climax of the story, and there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on, and especially for the second half of that issue, I have to do some. I have to do some research for it. It's like there's these battle scenes that I have to map out, and Yeah, so it's just it's going to be a lot going on in that issue. It's, once that halfway point, half of issue 13 and definitely 14, it's going to be harrowing. But it is getting done. I can't wait to get to the point where I can say it's finished. It's like that I finished penciling. I want to kind of like get that emotional response that I got when I finished the original script a couple of years ago. Um, it's like I released issue 1 of EGORAVEN, and I think it's like 2021, and then like somewhere around like May or June, or was it September, I finished the script for the all 15 issues. And I remember like when I wrote those last 2 words, the 2 words that close out the series, I was just like hysterical, crying for like 15 minutes, crying, laughing, that kind of like that manic, you know. So I'm really kind of looking forward and dreading that at the same time for finishing the pencils. um because like once the pencils are done, I think that's like, because with the script I was able to I'm still like kind of tweaking it and like um messing around with it, like changing scenes. Like just the other day, I actually like there was kind of like a scene that I was going, like it wasn't there, that I put it there and then I took it out again because I decided it was better to have an epilogue that well, it's kind of like a double epilogue, because I have an epilogue and then I have an epilogue after the epilogue, that kind of like takes care of that scene better. So yeah, so I'm still kind of tweaking it. So it's like, so once the pencils are done, that's committed. The story's it's committed. That's it. It just needs to be inked and that's it, right? Um so that's what I'm currently working on so far. Let's see what else. But before we get, because look, what is it? It's like that meme. It's like, you know what? It's like strap yourself in because this is what I'm going to be talking about for the next 2 months. Because it's like the build up to the because I have the build up to the campaign, which launches on June 10th, and then the actual campaign itself, which is going to be another month of me just talking about this book. And yeah, that's just like I said. It's like just strap yourself in because this is all I'm going to be talking about for the next 2 months. But before I get started, let's see what else is going on. Oh, so today, right? I went to the supermarket today, and well, I didn't exactly go to the supermarket. I went to BJ's, which is like a lower budget Costco. you know and I decided to pick up a book there. I was just looking around, and this one I just decided to pick up a book. Right, and this is going to be a little different than what I've been telling pretty much, because I've been reading very different books lately, and this one is extremely different. It's the opposite end of what I've been reading recently, but they had it at BJ's in their book section, which shouldn't have surprised me. But I figured I find so many people were talking about this book. I figured I finally pick up a copy. I remember seeing a copy of this at Forbidden Planet. And to tell you the truth, I actually regretted not picking one up. But at least at BJ's, it was heavily discounted. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to pick this up. And it was half the price, right? Yeah, no, not really. Actually, no, it wasn't really. It's like, okay, it was just $4 less expensive at BJ's. And picked up, I picked up Dogman. I finally picked up a copy of Dogman. I don't even know what volume this is. I don't think he even like so this is Dogman by Dave Pilkey. He is the creator of Captain Underpants. And this is the book that has been kicking everybody's asses for like, I don't know, the past 5 years, especially. When did Dogman come out? I don't know, because, you know, he was doing really well with Captain Underpants, but there was just something about Dogman that it is the #1 best-selling book worldwide. Not best-selling children's book, not best-selling comic book, best-selling book. Of, you know, I think like, you know, it's like worldwide. I mean, this thing is a phenom. And I've been hearing people talk about this book like so much that I actually made a joke about it. I based a joke on it in the next in the next EGORAVEN novel, Cult of the Wolf Witch. There's actually a running gag based on this. So, hey, Gothic Lolita Angel, hello. So yes, it is a children's book. It is a comic, you know. But the thing is, though, it's like I was just really curious about it because it's like I said, this outsells, like it this outsells everything. You know, it's like it's larger than the comic book the mainstream comic book market as we know it right now. I mean, like I said, this thing is a phenom. And I regretted, and it's like, look, it's just like literally as a kid's book, right? But I was like really like, I was really fascinated by the format. I like sometimes collecting books for their format just to give me an idea and look, it's a very simple format. It's just, it's hardcover. It's just about digest size. It's like 8.5 by 5 and 5.75, like just a little over 5.5. And it has spot gloss. you know you know um it's very like simple formatting. But I don't know, it's like I said, I've heard so many people talk about this book, and it's just like, what, it's like for $9, let me just pick one up so that I have one, because I kind of regretted not picking up the one that I saw at Forbidden Planet, because literally I just opened it up and the first thing on the page was a Bette Midler joke. So, and I regretted not picking that up. So I decided, it's like, you know what, let me just pick one up. So they had a whole bunch of them, but I decided the one, Grime and Punishment, was the one I should pick up just for the title. I figured if I was going to pick up one, let me pick up the one where the title amuses me the most, because I don't know how many volumes this thing has. I think it has like 20 something volumes. I don't know. The thing is almost like a manga series, so yeah, so I just thought it was like a cute thing to have, and like I said, it's like I've heard so many people talk about this book that I have a running gag in it, in EGORAVEN, in one of my EGORAVEN novels. So so I thought I'd just show that off for a bit. Because because the other books that I got, I cannot open on the air, right? But the thing is that there was one book that I bought. It was a series, right? So it's a Yoi series. It's an American Spanish Yoi series, I guess, called Starfighter, from an artist named Hamlet Machine. Absolutely adore this. I read it online, and I just finally decided to buy the books. Like I said, I cannot open these. I cannot open these on the air without getting I don't know what YouTube does. I don't even want to risk whatever YouTube does. It kind of makes me miss House of Bob, because it's like that was like an adults only stream that me and Nita did together, and we would show off adult comics, and because it was age restricted, I was able to, but they've gotten so much more strict now, YouTube, that I don't even know if we could even do that anymore. So So I finally bought my copies of Starfighter. Let me see if I could just open up, just to kind of like, I don't know. This is a safe. These are safe pages. You know, I mean, I absolutely adore Hamlet Machine's work. Um, right? Yeah, Melissa. Yeah, wink, wink. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, wink wink, because I did feature the PDF. I did talk about this on House of Bob, and I showed some pages. Yes, this is the one. The thing is, though, so I ordered the books. The books are perfect, right? Except for some reason, it happens sometimes. It's a printer fiasco. The final book of the series, volume 5, the interiors were upside down, that they had bound it upside down. And I was disappointed. Again, I cannot leisurely flip this open on camera. I it's like, so so it's like I contacted the company, and I go, look, the other books are perfect, but issue 5 is upside down. And you open it, and it's just upside down. That's all it is. It was bound upside down. So they said, oh, it's like, we'll send out a new one, right? So I get a new one, right? They sent it out rather quickly. I get the new one, and the second one is upside down too. And I go, oh no, is their entire thing. So now I have 2 upside down books. So then I contacted them again, and I go, look, I think you better check your inventory, because you've just sent me 2 upside down bound books in a row. You better check your inventory to make sure the rest of your inventory isn't like that. But I would still like a corrected version if you can send it, right? And very quickly they sent out a new version that is correct. They said that they checked their inventory, and they said that I guess there was a couple of books that were like that. But so that's the other thing that I got. But like I said, unfortunately, I can't really open open those show those pages to you. Oh, and the thing is, I don't know if I told you. Did I tell you that I fixed my shelves? So now it's like, what I did was I replaced my shelves. So now it's like, instead of like two like short shelves with a gap in the middle, now I finally got the board, the shelf that goes all the way across. So I was able to gain that space where that gap was. So now I'm able to have more of my books at kind of hand's length. Like I could just reach up and they're right there, like I did with those Starfighters. So it's like, I'm just very happy that I don't have that gap anymore. But I think I had mentioned that already. It's like, because Home Depot, because I had to get a custom length on the shelf, and Home Depot's saw was down. They have a guy there cutting down, so I couldn't. So I waited until they fixed it. And then when I went there to pick up something else, they go, oh, the saw's working, right? It's like, oh, great. Only for me to grab the shelves, go to the saw that was broke, that I was waiting for, oh, hold on. Something just, oh, that was ad block. Something just popped. Right, hold on. Oh, that kind of scared me there for a second, because ad block decided to pop up on my screen, say, we've updated ad block. Now you're telling me this now? So I go to the saw that they fixed, only to find out that wasn't the saw that they needed to cut down the shelf. So it's like, I had waited probably a couple of weeks for no reason whatsoever, because it seemed like they have another saw that's specifically for, I guess, shelves. And I don't know if that was working at the time or not. I just assumed that was the same saw. So regardless, though, it's like, so I got my shelves. I got rid of the gap. I have more books on my shelf now. So yes, I'm really happy with that. So, okay. So Yeah, so what you're it's like I said, so what you're seeing on the screen right now, that is the completed cover to EGORAVEN Volume 2, which again is on Kickstarter on pre-launch right now. The campaign launches on June 10th. And the reason I have on the screen is because I'm using that and the cover for volume 1 as a template for the volume 3 cover. I figure since I have volume 3 penciled out, that's issues 9 through 12. I might as well do the pencil out the cover and kind of get that started. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Actually, it's like, you know what? Let me just, yeah, because it's really nothing else going on for me to like fill in anybody on. Tall Tales. So, like I said, the campaign did a lot better than I had expected. It doubled. Oh, hey, Michael, I see you. Hello, hey, Michael. The campaign for Tall Tales, for those of you who don't know, okay, here is this. Um, this is the series that just closed recently on Kickstarter. This is for Tears of the Mother issues 1 through 6. And as you can see, I have them already proofed out. So I'm just tweaking the files, and I will be sending them out probably tomorrow, because it turns out, it's like this campaign's going to be a lot easier for me than I expected for the amount of issues that were available on the campaign. I do again want to thank everybody for supporting the campaign and buying the copies. And especially I would like to thank all the people who bought PDFs of the issues. There's been some very weird hate for PDF sales recently, but I just want to say that I appreciate every single one of you. I mean, it's like, that's why, especially in the last couple of campaigns, I've been really trying to offer up stuff that benefits digital people who prefer digital copies. I know that a lot of people are either waiting for trades, but they don't not want to support a campaign until that happens. So people buy digital instead, and I appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, and it's like, and it's just like, half the campaign, if not more, were digital sales, and I'm very happy with that. And yeah, so I'm going through the orders right now. I will be sending out surveys soon, so make sure that if you see the survey pop up, make sure you answer that, so at least we'll have everything ready when the books come in. Because let's see, so if I get these files out tomorrow, I am hoping I could get the books just by the end of May, just by the end of the month, and then we can really start sending actually my goal is to have all of these out before the EGORAVEN campaign starts. So I'm hoping that that's how that schedule works, or at least have most of it shipped out. Because I don't like campaigns to kind of like overlap, even if it's just fulfilling one and it's just a regular campaign running. I just like to get my campaigns out the door as quickly as possible. Michael says, I think digital sales are also picking up because nowadays people have less physical space for things. No, I agree. It's only very particular books that I buy in physical right now. I'm also a person who, if you have a trade, I will buy a trade. So yeah, because even because there was a book I was looking, because even then, it has to be a book that I really, really want a physical copy of. I will buy PDFs to support a book until it gets to the trade. but I don't collect individual issues per se anymore. But also, like, especially recently, I've been buying a lot of novels too. But what I've been finding is that I've have like a similar thing with novels. Um, that I really have to like your book to buy a physical copy. I'm not one of the people who go, oh, you have to finish your series before I buy the first volume. um no, because it's like I have I one of my favorite series is unfinished, and I don't regret it, so it's like, it's just yeah, so there's a couple of authors that I bought their digitals, and then when hard copies became available on Kickstarter, I bought those. And then there's some books that I'm glad I only have digital, because I tried reading Earthsea, by Ursula K. Le Guin, and I couldn't even get past the first 5 pages. Like, I'm really glad I did not. In the past, if I had bought a physical copy, I probably would have returned it to Barnes and Noble. Like, it's like, oh, no, I can't read this. If I can't read it, I can't have it in the house. So, um, but okay, so we're already past the half hour mark. So I think that, everybody's kind of like we're kind of getting settled, so we can kind of like get a little started here. So okay, so let me just switch out the camera, and we can talk, more when oh, by the way, it's like, so is the sound of my microphone okay? um Oh, by the way, okay, so let me see. Michael says, my local comic store has donation drives for VA hospitals and such, so I take advantage of that to rotate out older books instead of just throwing them away. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea, yeah. Yeah, because is my microphone okay? Like, the way it sounds? It's like, I don't know. It's like sometimes I feel like I'm like screaming into it. you know, like, it's like I just want to make sure that, yeah, it's like, okay, good. All right, thank you, Michael. Thank you. I see. He says the microphone sounds good. Okay. Sometimes I worry that I'm a little too loud, because it's like, you see other videos and they all have that soft, silky, radio voice, and I'm like, hey. And it's like, no, it's like, no. Oh, also, they're using completely different equipment, So, hello, Martha. I see you. Hello. So, they're using completely different equipment that it's like I can't be bothered with. Um, so, like I said, this is the cover for volume 2, which hopefully by the end of the month I will have a proof of. Let me get my water going. Okay, so like I said, so I'm using this, and also I have this is the cover to volume 1, which I'm using as a template for the volume 3 cover that I'm penciling out. So this is volume 1, this is volume 2, and this is my pencils for volume 3. I'm still tweaking it. This time around, that's the one thing that I've gotten like completely addicted to working in Clip Studio. So I have all the characters on separate layers, so that I can still kind of like mess around with the layout. It's like I'm not completely committed to it, but this is kind of as close. What is that? Oh yeah, that's the background. It's kind of as close as I'm probably going to get with the layout. Because it's not like it's a little weird because it's not a poster, it's a book, it's a wraparound cover, and I want the front cover and the back cover to kind of like to that's how I'm looking at this. It's like it's split in half, because it's like, yeah, I have kind of like this grid represents the cover. So as you can see, it's like this is the spine here. So I want like the front cover and the back cover to kind of be able to work independent of each other. So so yeah, so I have it laid out in a very particular way. Like I said, I'm still tweaking it. Um, but what the idea that I had for today is so like I said, I have the characters on separate layers. So like I have, so I have EGORAVEN here, right? And what I want to do is what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink her separately. So I'm going to probably ink most of the characters separately, but I'm going to start with her first. Because what I realized, and it just, sometimes, it's like these things just happen. I didn't think this out like this. It just ended up this way. And once I realized that there was a pattern going on, I wanted to continue that pattern. So the thing with the covers is that not only are they representative of what's in the book, but also they're kind of in and of itself representative of EGORAVEN's journey in the story. So here, like with the first issue, like this is kind of like, like where she starts off. That's her kind of like her base look. And then with the second volume, once you got into the training arc, and the tournament, the tournament arc, now it's like on the cover, she's featured in her knight armor. Oh, hey, our victim. Hey, hello. So she's featured in her armor that, that she's in tournament now. So for the third issue, for the third volume, I decided to purposefully continue that theme because, like I said, those first two were accidents, but this one I wanted to continue the theme. So this time, the armor. This is her King's Rider armor. A little bit of a spoiler, but it's like hopefully by the time the issues come out, you would have forgotten it. So this is her King's armor, her King's Rider armor. So it's a different armor, and so that's like the EGORAVEN that's featured on this cover. And what I have been doing is that I cut out the I cut out EGORAVEN here and on the cover. Like I cut this out. Let me see if I could show it to you guys what I'm doing. Will this open PNGs? I think it might open PNGs. Let me see. Let's see. Ooh, we don't want to open that file yet. Let's see. Where's my PNGs? That folder was full of spoilers. Let's see. Where's my PNGs? Here we are. So, what I have like a collection of just elements that I use for like like stickers or things. So it's just the character. So this just makes it easier for me to to just use them for something. So where is it? So here is that EGORAVEN for that cover. And then here is the EGORAVEN from the second volume. And what I want to do is I want to have all four, because eventually there's going to be four of them. I want to have them as like individual, like maybe I'll put them out as a sticker set or something, but I just wanted to separate them. And because of that, I figured, okay, so that means that when I start inking this one, I want to make sure that I ink her separately so that it'll be a lot easier for me to have her as a sticker, just to have that separate, so that, and then what I'll do is I'll color her in separately and then just plop her into the cover. However that's going to work, I haven't decided yet. So okay, so let's get the music started. Today on Epidemic Sound, we're going with the Bonnie Grace playlist. They do the more fantasy oriented music that I use for EGORAVEN. So I just felt like that would thematically that would work. That would work with today's show. So we're gonna get that started. And yeah, so let's get the inking going. Okay, so we're gonna start with okay, so we're gonna start. Let's see. So okay, so let me just. Oh, yeah, I gotta turn these off, and I want to make the pencils a lot lighter, so they don't like get a little too interfery. You know what I mean? So okay, because sometimes it gets a little confusing to ink uh with the lines at 100%. I'd rather like it's a lot easier to work the when everything's in kind of gray. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to getting the proof. For the book. I mean, I just love piling up. If Melissa says if I have too many characters in one panel overlapping, I start using different colors for roughs and pencils so I can tell all the forms apart. Yeah, that's what that's what I do sometimes as well. Like in this case, like in this particular case, I just kind of like just penciled like each character separately on a different layer, so it kind of like didn't matter. If I'm doing like a panel and the characters start confusing me, then I would definitely. What's funny is that I did that more on traditional pages. I did that more on traditional pages than I actually do digitally. Although I have done it digitally before. I really like enjoy using all the different colored pencils to do the different characters. So that was a lot of fun. And also it's like I actually kind of missed that. So I'm probably just going to, I don't know, like probably just do some traditional penciling somewhere. I don't know, like some sketches or something, because it's like I am just like fiending to work with a pencil. I mean, it's just funny how that works, right? Um, I think like I don't remember if it was on yeah if it was on last week's stream or one of the vlogs. Like I was talking about how that I'm just like really fiending to do something traditional. I just haven't decided what yet. And but it's like because I miss my pencils. I really do. Like I don't understand how that, like, there's some digital artists who like they've never worked traditionally, and it's just like I'm sure I've told this story before. There's this teacher that I follow. She's an artist and she teaches college art. She teaches courses at a college in art. And she says that the most frustrating thing is getting these kids, even though it's a college course, they're kids. Because look, it's like they are. I am way closer to retirement than I ever was, in college. So as far as I'm concerned, they're infants as far as I'm concerned, even if it's a college course. And what she does is, like her class is about working traditionally. And she says that she literally has kids crying in her class because they only know how to work digitally. They only know how to draw on an iPad. And having to work with with pencils, with actual pencils and actual paper. It's like they literally freak out. and I have a hard time, like, oh my God, really? It's like, and meanwhile, I'm here just fiending to do something, it traditionally. Um, so it's like, yeah, so I don't know. It's like, I don't know, maybe I'll, I don't know. I still have to think about, what is it, I want to, what is it that I want to do? So, but for right now, we are a-okay with digital. We are a-okay with digital. Because I swear to God, if it wasn't for Clip Studio Paint, I don't think I would have done as much work as I have now. Really, it's because it is such a game changer for me. I mean, the fact that I could use that, I don't have to stop to use reference. I could just grab my reference, bring it into Clip Studio, do what I need to do, and keep it moving. Where traditionally I would have to stop, find my reference, print it out, lightbox it, and it's like, it was kind of like a whole process in and of itself, especially with the amount of complicated pages that I have, especially when it comes to backgrounds. So, yeah, so the way that, that I was able to kind of like move through pages, penciling them, because the thing that also that I really liked being able to do is have placeholder characters. Like if I have like I don't know, like they're supposed to be like a group of soldiers, I can literally just draw one soldier, right? Duplicate them however many I need, and then just like, okay, when I go back to put in, like when I ink, then I could put in the details that I need to differentiate them. But for now, I just have placeholders so I can get the rest of the scene together, and then I can just move on, and then I'll come back to that when I ink. And because I have like a lot of, well, there's a whole group of characters that I need to draw out before I ink everything, because I have to like kind of like lock in their look before I ink them, so that when I get to those characters, I can draw them out properly, and then I can ink them. So I was really happy to be able to do that, where it's like, okay, we're just copy and paste, and just leave them there until I can get back to them. So yeah, so it's like, look, you need the right tool for the right the right tool for the right job, right? And yeah, and it's just also really funny too how Clip Studio, when it comes to inking, like it's very like Clip Studio is very, it was obviously made for this. Because inking, it's, I had to, when I was fixing up the transparency for one of the stickers, I had to put in her feet. I had to draw in the rest of her feet because that wasn't in the original piece. And instead of bringing it into Clip Studio, I just decided to just like, oh yeah, I can just finish it up in Photoshop, because that's where the file was. And it felt a lot different. Like you could tell Photoshop was not really designed for this. It wasn't, I mean, it's a photo, it's in the name. It's a Photoshop, it's a photo editing software. It's photo editing software. It's not oh, Melissa says copy paste in Clip Studio Paint has saved me so much time on Windows. I ink it once and then make as many as I need. Absolutely. That's what I do too. That's what I do too. You know, sometimes it's like I'm able to go back, like I draw a background once, and then if I need it again, I can take pieces of that background from that original panel and then bring it in, you know, and kind of like adjust it to, you know, kind of like, you know, like an animation where you have like a pan, you do a pan and scan, and it's like, okay, so now they're here and there, but you know, so I don't have to draw the background again. You know, and then what happens is that once I ink, the inking will bring all that together. So it, you know, so it doesn't look like a cut and paste, you know, so it's like, cause I really, cause that's kind of like my big turnoff when I see like some web comics or some comics where you can tell the background is it's too cut and paste. Actually, they're using assets, right? That's really what it is. They're using assets and it looks like it. And although I know it's like, look, I appreciate those shortcuts, you know, but like for me, it's like I need it to not look like a shortcut. You know, I need it to not look like a cut and paste. So you know, that's why it's like in pencils, I'll cut and paste. But when it comes to inking, the inking is going to be exactly what that is. It's going to match exactly what's in the panel, so that it all fits in. But yeah, but like pencil, yeah. So it's like, so inking in Photoshop just seemed very, very awkward for some reason. Like it wasn't as smooth. It was very like, I don't know, like it had like a certain resistance to it. You know, so so yeah, so it was just like kind of funny. You know, and I did get the sticker fixed, obviously. Oh, hey Joe. Hey Joe. Yes, you know what? Yes, I did miss you, sir. I did miss you. I'm sure that you're probably very busy, you know. So it's like, you know, so you know, but no, it's like, I was like, you know, I haven't seen Joe in a while. I wonder what's going on with him, you know. Did you go to C2E2 this year? Did you go? Because I know that usually, like in the past, I mean, you went like the past couple of years. Just wondering if you went. If you went this year, did you go? How was it if you went? You know. Let's see. Oh, 9. Yeah, of course. 9 to 5. Been on my case, so I couldn't watch as much. No, yeah, no, I get you. I get you. You know, it's like not everybody can stay home and draw comics. You know? I mean, unfortunately, right? As much as we want to, you know, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like, I'm sure, you know, because even Jose, I'm sure he would much prefer to be home writing more Oswald, but that is not the oh, okay, let's see, Joe says, oh, you were there, you only missed one C2E2, and that was in 2021. I think we missed a lot. I think a lot of people missed. Did they even run it in 2021? You know, but so how was it? How did it did you have a table? You know, do you have, you know, your books, your game? Did you get your game out? Yeah, I mean, I know that the last time I remember that I don't know if you were doing like an actual video game or you were doing a role-playing game. I think it was a role-playing game, right? That you were doing. Did that oh, so there was one in 2021. Okay, that was probably before they shut everything down, I guess. So yeah, 'cause I think like but so what did you have there? So how was it? You know, it's like you know what? It's I am so like on one hand, it's like I don't know. It's like I have no patience for conventions, but at the same time, it's like I kind of oddly miss them. And I'm kind of wondering if that's because it's like now it's like we know a lot more people now, and it's like going to conventions now, it's like we get to meet everybody as opposed to like, oh, we're just here and it's just us. So he says, so Joe says, I got issue 4 of Primetime Saturday Night out in time. Could not get the RPG formatted in time to be printed. Yeah, because yeah, I mean, those not the video games, the role playing game stuff takes time, right? A lot of stats, a lot of maths, just to play a game. I mean, honestly, the only reason I never got into role playing games is because it's a lot of effort to create a character, and then like something happens. Oh, your character's dead. Now that I think about it, though, it's like, why not just reuse the character? Like, why is it in role playing like dead is considered dead? Oh, now you have to roll a different character. Why can't I use the one that just died? Nobody has to know. It's like a video game. It's like, oh, just boop, there you go, you're back again. Why? Yeah, it's like, why was that always a thing? It's like, oh no, your character died, you have to create a new one now. Like, why not just recycle the character that just died? Because that was such a huge stress for me. Joe says, I had my normal booth. Crowd is different. Didn't make anywhere near what I would years before. Yeah, it's getting it kind of is. It's been getting tougher, right? But at the same time, it's like I can't really count Baltimore. Last year's Baltimore, because it's like the timing on that was so bad. The timing in terms of how the promoters, like, come on, really, it's like they didn't know SPX was going to run on the same weekend. Actually, what I should have done is not have gone. Seeing that, I just didn't think that SPX would have that kind of result, would affect the convention that much. That's Michael says, I knew people who would just rename the character that just died and play it in the campaign. Well, but that's the thing though, why even bother renaming it? Well, like I said, it's like, why not just use the same character and just start again? It's like, is it part like what is it part of the acting of role playing? It's like, oh, the characters knew the character for like a split second. Oh, there you're back. Oh no. The what was it? The reports of my death were widely exaggerated. However that quote goes. Like, because that was always such a source of stress for me. That's why I never got into it. But now it's like, wait a minute. All these years, it's like, wait a minute. We could have just used the character again. Joe says, as far as the RPG question, unless reincarnation is in the game and people know how to use it with no ill effects, the dead is dead. But that's taking it very literally. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, it's a game, it's like, why in the end, it's like, why would it matter? It's like, you're pretending anyway. Can't you pretend that nothing happened? Very stressful. Very stressful. You know, it's like, you know what? I would have to ask. I also have to ask Visenia too about that opinion. You know. You know, because it's like, yeah, because she role plays. She has a friend who's teaching her how to be a DM, and you know, and it's like, you know, yeah, wait a minute, why can't, you know, why can't you just you know, just I don't know, why can't you just, you know, reincarnate, you know, just use the character again? Oh, Michael says, I have been on the occasion where the players took the game very seriously. It was kind of off-putting. I rarely stayed on one of those tables. Yeah, I know, right? Melissa says, we've always spun it into a new quest to get the dead character back or unturned from being a vampire. Or the player made a new character, then their old character remains in the world as a zombie. Kind of like The Sims. Oh, it's The Sims now. Let's see. Joe says it's a game, and the game has means to bring people back to life too. But people are people are asses and let people die. Game mimicking life. It sucks. Yeah, I agree. Like that's, yeah. You know what? I gotta ask Vess about her opinion. Her opinion on this. Because it's like, I don't know. Maybe I would be more receptive to playing if I could just, it's like, look, it kind of like death was off the table, kind of, you know what I mean? Like there's a video game, you know, Alice Madness Returns, or is that the second one? I think Alice Madness Returns the second game. I think the first one is just Alice, American McGee's Alice. I think that's just the first game. And then the second one is called Alice Madness Returns. So like those games, like those are like one of the few games that I would play, and only because I was able to get like a code, you know, like the code to crack it so that I would have it in God mode so that I wouldn't die. I would just like, I would still play the game normally, but like whenever like I had confrontations or you know, like a lava, you know, there's always a lava level. Like I wouldn't die. You know, because it's like I don't have time to keep going back and forth. You know, I just want to chill. I just want to play a game and chill. So you know, so it's like, you know, so it's like, yeah, that whole like, oh, you have to, you know, play this level for like 37 hours to get a jump right. It's like, no. I'm grown. I'm old. I'm too old for that shit. I'm too old for that. It's like, look, just, you know, just get me, you know, it's like, just let me just play the game, play this out the story in peace, you know? So God mode. I need God mode in a game in order to just like it not be stressful for me. Although the funniest thing though, it's like, because this is when Animal Crossing was really big, because everyone was like doing everything in Animal Crossing, you know, because, you know, everyone was just home. And you know, because my sister has a Switch, and I asked her, it's like, oh, so did you get into Animal Crossing? And she goes, no, Animal Crossing is very stressful, because it's like you have Tom Nook giving you orders, you know, like you have to do shit for people. You have to do shit for all the animals, and you have to pay mortgage to Tom Nook. And it's like, no, she goes, it's just like real life. And it was just like, I don't need that shit. You know, it's like, so she plays Stardew Valley instead, because it's like, I guess it's more chill. You know, you just grow your plants or something, and, you know, I don't know, you figure out the recycling or something. I don't know. It's like just very, you know, benign. You know, you just like, I'm just raising my plants, you know, while while Animal Crossing, which is, oh, you got to do this for this character, you got to do that for that character. They start demanding shit if you want to keep them on the island, and it's like, no. It's like, Joe says, I have played RPGs where the GM, the game master, got off on killing everyone. Oh no, is that like the opposite of a murder hobo? You know, it's like how that's a murder DM. That's not fun. No. Unless the others know that to keep people alive, it's made for a miserable experience. I can imagine. And then Michael DeFonte says Vest plays in an online game that my real world friend runs. I enjoyed the games he ran because he is really good. I was on the table for years. Is that Matt? Because it's like I only know the name Matt for, I guess, her dungeon master. I always catch her videos late, so it's like, and it's like, you know, like, and I don't really, yeah, it's Matt, yeah, okay, all right. He's the guy with the voice, like he was the voice for her Kickstarter, for the game, for the cards. So yeah, so that's why I really remember him. You know, oh, I can't wait to get my cards. Vest just moved. She moved recently, like a couple of weeks ago. And it's like, that's why it's like, look, when I get the cards, and like, I'm not making like any deal of it. You know, when I get the cards, and I'm looking for, they're going to be great, you know? And, because yeah, it's like, look, I've had to pack up, like my sister was moving and I had to like pack up a lot of her stuff. And look, packing is awful. Look, even when I had my office redone, that because we had a huge flooding problem in the office. Like there was like this huge crack that ran along the wall, and every time it rained, all the water would come in through that crack, and it would flood the entire office. It was awful. I lost a lot of, I had a box of comics that I lost because of that. I had it in like a comic book box, you know, in a corner, and the office just kept flooding and flooding. And I didn't realize it until it got really bad. Because what happened was that the box was absorbing everything for a while. And then there just came a point where it's like, what's that smell? And it was like, I had a whole box of rotting comics in a corner. It was awful. And just emptying out the office, having to pack everything out of this room. And it's not that big. I think, what is it? It's, I don't remember like what the total square footage is, but it's like 13 feet by 9 feet, 13 feet by 9 feet, the space that I'm in right now. Right. And to pack up everything just to get it, like, no, I hate it. I hate it. So, you know, so, yeah, so with, you know, so Vess moved, and I'm like, oh, it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, not that I would have bothered her anyway, but it's like, yeah, she said that if she had known she was going to move so soon, she wouldn't have run a campaign, a Kickstarter campaign. And it's like, yeah, no, I really feel you, because just moving is awful enough. And then to kind of like have to fulfill a campaign in the middle of that, it's like, no. It's okay. I know I know I'm gonna get those cards. I'm looking forward to them. I know I'm gonna get them. So, you know, it's all good. So, Joe says, if you ever play D&D, always try to gain a healing skill for self and for others. That way you can make easy allies with others when you can heal them and or bring them back to life. Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Let's see. If I were to make a playable D&D character, like I would go for like either a dwarf or a goblin. Remember back in our youth where it's like, I was like, oh, I want to be like a beautiful elf or something. It's like, oh, I want to be like, oh, it's like the ranger or something. And now it's like, no, give me the goblin. I want to play a goblin, or I want to play a dwarf. You know, it's just give me one of those. Whatever trash character you give me whatever trash class you have. Give me that one. You know, it's like, yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I mean, no matter what happens, though, it's like I would always end up probably just making up this entire story anyway of the character, because D&D is just world building anyway, you know. Um, that's how we ended up with Lodos Wars, right? It was just the guys playing D&D, the animators playing D&D, and they go, "This, let's animate it, make one of the greatest anime series of all time." Oh, a phase troll. Martha says phase troll. I am so out of it. So it's like, in D&D terms. Oh, Joe says unlawful good. Maybe. Yeah, probably. It's like, I don't know. It's like there's these goblin characters that I've been playing around with, that I'm trying, that actually, no, it's like that I want to put in EGORAVEN somewhere in the novels. It has to be in the novels, either that or a short story. I probably do a short story or something to introduce them. I swear, it's like after the series is done, it's going to be, really interesting for me, like, to tell, like, the other stories, like just different stories, because it's like, yeah, because I wouldn't want to do a long form series anymore. Like I wouldn't, because that'll be Tall Tales. That's going to be my long form. But I think with EGORAVEN, it's going to be novels, right? But I still want to do like little short comic book stories, and so probably that's what I would end up doing. So it's like I'm percolating these two goblin characters, right? And I and I introduce the concept of goblins in this world in the novels, except in the way I'm working them, it's like the goblins in this world, they're not like, living in that's the orcs, right? So you have the orcs and the trolls that live in the mountains, right? And then you have the goblins, which actually they're kind of like trying to assimilate into the world of men. So they're mostly known as traders. So they're like traders and craftspeople, right? Let's see. Michael says, I ran tables as a dungeon master. I don't anymore. If there was going to be a stupid death of a player character, I'd lie about the dice rolls for damage or hit. The player may get hurt badly, but they won't die. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, keep them in the game. Like, it doesn't matter, right? It kept suspense and interest in the game. I never told them. Well, I'm sure that they appreciate it. I'm sure that they appreciate it, because look, in the end, it's a game. And like I said, it's like having to worry about your character dying is stressful enough, but it's a game. Do we really have to take it that seriously? So the goblins that I'm working on, right? So they're like traders, and it's like they usually kind of, and they work in caravans. Um, you know, um, so it's like some kind of like, so, but the thing is, they're goblins though, right? So humans wouldn't really trust them, because it's like, oh, you're just an offshoot of the orcs and the trolls, and they're like, no, it's like we're goblins, but we're it's like, you want to buy something or not, type of thing, and so there's these two particular goblin characters that I'm still percolating, based on that concept, where they're two goblin sisters who are seamstresses, and it's like, so the idea is they come to Dornum to open up their own shop, right? To open up their own seamstress, their own tailor or seamstress shop, right? And 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 it's like, and at first nobody wants to, like, Duke Mercer, the guy who runs Dornum, like, I guess that's his part of his province. He doesn't feel comfortable allowing that, and then like that, and then it's like, like EGORAVEN has to step in somehow and kind of convince him. It's like, no, they're cool. They'll just let them, they're good business. They're good people, even though they're goblins, right? And then it's like they end up with, like, then it's like they become these two characters, and these two goblins end up regular characters. Like that's their connection to EGORAVEN. She helped them be able to get their seamstress shop or something. So that's what I'm thinking. So yeah, so I'm kind of like stuck in goblin mode. So yeah, so if I were to play Dungeons and Dragons, I would definitely go goblin. I would definitely dwarf or goblin, although I would lean more towards goblin. you know and yeah, it's like let's see. Michael says some people take the game seriously because they see, and I to an extent see, RPGs as collaborative storytelling, so they go really deep in character and story play. No, I respect that. I completely respect that. I mean, it's like, because sometimes like Vess talks about the game, and if I catch the video midway, it's like I think she's just telling like something that's going on, like she's just telling a story as to what's going on in her life, and then it turns out that she's talking about the game. So it's like, yes, I understand that that the world building is very important, like I completely understand that. It's just, I don't know. It's just that, like sometimes it just doesn't feel not user friendly. But did I just change something here? I think I accidentally changed something here. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Okay, I didn't know if there were shortcut keys to do that. But it's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I guess I would just have to do it, But, in my case, though, it's like, it's finding the time, to even experiment with that, Let's see, where are we there? Okay, so here, okay, so that's all right. Thought I was a little bit further ahead than I thought. Let's see. Let me see something. This. Let me move. Let me see. Let me leave. You know what? I'm way too early in the inking process, so it's not looking its best right now. So let's see. Michael says there's an RPG renaissance going on for the last few years. Games with no dice or death is not really a thing. A game about kid characters where you don't die, but the kid characters ages out of the game. Oh, that's interesting. Well, yeah, it's like, well, yeah, of course, yeah. Like I said, a lot happens in this volume between, in issues 9 through 12. A lot happens. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's like I'm. It's like yeah, the ugly phase of the artwork is always tough to get around. You know, because it's like we're still very early on in the piece, and it's like it's not quite right yet because I'm just pretty much putting down the base line, the base lines, I guess. I don't know. Oh, here. Yeah. Yeah. So on the last stream, right? I had posted a little fake animation that I did because in issue 13 there's this dance scene that I wanted to portray in like kind of like pseudo animated panels, right? If you missed it, it's on the last stream that I did. Right. So because of the way I'd set it up and because there was like 12 panels, pretty much there was 12 panels, right, to indicate this dancing scene, right? So as you know, as a yuck, right, I put it together in my video editing software, right? So I put them, you know, I adjusted them and I put them together and realized I kind of had a pseudo animated sequence, right? So for those of you who haven't seen it, like this is what it looks like. So this is like 12 panels from the comic that I put together into this one video. So right, so I have like this, so those are panels, right? So I posted it up, you know, because I thought it was, you know, thought it was cute. It's like, oh, look at me being mad extra about my comic. I did so many panels in this sequence. I accidentally animated it, right? And Mike Jimmy wanted to take up the challenge of animating the in-betweens, right? So technically those were keyframes. Like technically those would be considered keyframes. And what he wants to do is he wants to animate the in-betweens for the segment. And I go, bro, if you can figure that out, you know, if you want to do it, so I sent him the 12. So it starts off with 12, right? So it's like, if you can figure it out, you know, and you can do it, you know, one, Godspeed, right? But if you actually do it, what I'll do is I'll ink in and color all the final pieces so that we can have an actual animated sequence. That sequence animated. You know, it's not going to be Beauty and the Beast, you know, it's not going to be anything fancy like that, but it was just a challenge that Mike Jimmy decided he wanted to take on. And I go, you know, it's like, you know, glutton for punishment. Godspeed, sir. You know, so we'll see. It's like, so I think like tomorrow, I think is when he's going to be working on it. So he's doing his show, his Hung on Animation show tomorrow. And he's going to be working on those keyframes to be able to do the in-betweening. So, you know, we'll get to see what happens with that. You know, I mean, I thought it was really cute. He, you know, he wants to animate it further. So, you know what? It's not something that I would have like I would have done. Like if I was going to do more animation, I would just do just like really, really rough animation like that. Because technically what I would just treat it as is just doing like sequential panels and then just putting them together in a video editor. I wouldn't exactly call it animating really, but technically that's what it is, right? So because Mike Jimmy, like he did like his 30-second intro for Life on Quora, I think just that took him 6 months. And now he's animating an issue, like an entire story. And I think that he's been working on that now for almost 2 years, I think. So yeah, I don't have time for that either. You know, I gotta cut my losses where I can, you know. Um although there is, I have seen people do oh, Michael says, can I say I'm happy Sketchy Saturday is on later now? I am less likely to miss it. Yeah, no, it's a lot more convenient. It's a lot more convenient. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, like 10 a.m. just seems a little too early. You know, like 11 a.m. works better for me. You know, not that I'm on Sketchy Saturday, but if I were, but 12 is definitely better. And especially for C, technically it is 11 o'clock for him because you know, he's in Louisiana, so they're 1 hour behind Eastern. So yeah, so technically he's doing it. He's doing his show at 11 a.m., which is technically a good time. Yep. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, it always feels like that I've accomplished more than I really have. But, you know, it's like I said, we're still in the ugly phase of okay. Oh, I gotta be closer. Yeah, definitely if or when I have to replace this Cintiq that I'm working on. I'm working on a Cintiq 16 Pro, so it's the 16-inch screen. And I know I've mentioned this before. Like when I bought it, I was being cheap because honestly, it's like even though Clip Studio Paint has made working on this, because before I wasn't really using it because, like I said, Photoshop doesn't really work well. I just couldn't get into like drawing in Photoshop, right? Not to this extent. And Clip Studio, like I said, Clip Studio Paint, game changer. And it was like it's so optimized for the Cintiq that I finally was like I've worked more on this Cintiq in probably the last year than I did the first 2 years I had it. You know, it's like actually I think it's been a little bit more than that. More than 2 years. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I think that I bought this Cintiq before 2021. And, you know, and it just, yeah, I think it was before. Yeah, I think, no. Yeah, I had it before 2021 because I was coloring on it but I wasn't really doing pencils on it. You know what I mean? And well, what's there to understand? It's like I wasn't doing pencils on it. And honestly, it's like, so Clip Studio finally allowed me to really take advantage of the size of the Cintiq that I'm on. But honestly, though, if I have to replace it, I should have just spent the extra $400 to get the 21. You know, I think it was like either 21 or 24. I think it was a 24 inch. It was just $400 more. And like an asshole, I had to be cheap at that moment. And I think that especially now, I would have much rather been working on that larger screen than on the 16 inch, you know? And it's like, and if I had to, you know, and when I have to do, you know, if I had to do it again, then yeah, I would rather. It's like I should have just spent the money and get the larger screen. Michael say I have a Cintiq Pro 16 that I want to get rid of. If you know anyone who would want it, I would give a great deal, and I would give a great deal, and they would pay for shipping. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could pass it off to Nita. Maybe she knows. I use a Cintiq Pro 24. Yeah, I think it was the 24 that I was also looking at, but I go, I don't know. It's like $400. That's all it was, a $400 difference, and I would have had the larger screen. And I know for a fact that's why sometimes it's not worth being cheap, because that's the difference between being cheap and being frugal, you know. Because it's not like I wasn't going to use the thing, you know, so I wasn't being frugal, you know. But I only regretted it because of Clip Studio Paint. So technically, I mean, I only started regretting it with Clip Studio. Because then it's like I realized that it's like, oh, this is how it's supposed to work. This is how it's supposed to be. You know? It's like, this is how it feels, you know? But you know, next time. Oh, hello, Hoy. Well, I am drawing a cover. I am drawing a cover for my Volume 3, EGORAVEN Volume 3. So I have it all penciled out. I'm still tweaking the layout, but what I'm doing is I'm inking the main character so that I could turn her into a sticker. So, you know, so right now we're still in the ugly phase. You know, it's still, you know, it's still very rough. But once I'm done, it'll look more like this. Or like this. That's the cover for Volume 1. This is the cover for Volume 2. So now I'm working on Volume 3. And you know, Hoy says, are you going to be at Heroes Con or Fan Expo in Denver? No. Like I said, I haven't done conventions in a while. And especially ones that I have to travel for is kind of hard for me. So any conventions that I go to, especially nowadays, is mostly local. And even then, like last year, I went to Baltimore Comic-Con. That was probably as far as I'm going to go. And even then, I had such a horrible time Well, it wasn't horrible. It's just that they held the show the same weekend as SPX and split the audience, so nobody showed up to either. So yeah, it's like, you know, and it's like, and even when we were going to shows regularly, it's like it only if we could drive to it. Because to fly to a convention for us was like the only show that we actually did that to was San Diego Comic-Con. That was the only show we flew out to regularly for, like, yeah, I think it was like what, like 5-6 years we were flying out to San Diego. And then we stopped doing that show and kept everything on the East Coast within driving distance. I think the farthest we've driven out to was Kentucky. I forgot I think it was literally Kentucky Comic-Con. I don't remember. So yeah, Denver's kind of like definitely a little too far. You know, even if I had a car, I'm a quintessential New Yorker. I don't own a car. So we depended on a lot of friends who are also driving. Oh, Okia, for instance, San Diego is expensive. Hell yeah. Here's the ironic thing about San Diego Comic-Con. It's not the convention that's expensive. The convention, I thought at the time when we were going, was actually pretty reasonable compared to a lot of other shows. You know, $350 for yeah. Well, I do have a driver's license. I don't have a car. So technically I can drive. I just don't have the means to. And I don't rent cars. So especially for long distance stuff like that. So you know, because we don't make that type of money at conventions to justify that type of expense. Yeah, parking is expensive. Yeah, you know, like, well, yeah, it's like, well, we were flying out to San Diego, right? So the convention itself is not expensive. Like the ticket and getting the table, and even if you got the table, you got tickets, right? That was the easy part. The hotel was what screwed you. I mean, we're talking about hotels that would regularly be like $90 would now be $400 a night. And we're talking about really like shitty, like below run-of-the-mill hotels, like not even a Holiday Inn. You know, because it's like, yeah, I got to experience one of those hotels on the off season, and those are shit hotels. You know, and it's like, but during San Diego, during Comic-Con, they're like $400 for a hotel that's not even worth $50, but you're still paying $90 for it, even on the off season. They're awful. And then it's like everybody just jacks up their prices for Comic-Con. Like even like shipping out books to hotels, like that would, any other time would be like a complimentary service where they would take your boxes and they would hold them for you. But during Comic-Con, it was like $10 a box for the hotel to hold. And it's like, you know, when you have a lot of boxes, that $10, you're spending $200. So you're spending $200 just for the hotel to hold shit for you, right? And then you're paying another, I don't know how much parking would be. So then you're paying parking, and then like the hotel you're paying $400 a night for, you know. Hoy says, I shipped out stuff to MegaCon and Heroes before. Yeah, and it's like, if you're lucky, your hotel won't charge you for it. We've like the only other convention that we've flown out for was Florida, but that's because my mom is there. Florida Comic-Con was like nearby, so we would just have everything shipped to the apartment, you know, so that would save us a lot of money. We were able to like technically send a lot more stuff because we weren't paying for anything, just the shipping. But even then you have the cost of shipping, right? The cost itself, you're spending $200 on shipping, and then you have to pay another $200 for the hotel to hold it for you. I mean, yeah, that's what made San Diego expensive. The show itself was easy. If you were a local, you had it good. You know, I mean, but what's ironic, right, is that we have New York Comic Con, and I can't even get in the show. You know, I haven't qualified for an artist alley table for God knows how long. And I'll never forget that the last time, like I actually tried to get a table. Like it was so long ago, you had to call. You had to call to see if they had artist alley tables available. And I remember that guy saying, it's like, no, I'm not going to give, like, we have availability, but I'm not going to give it to you unless, because if someone famous wants to be in the artist alley, I don't want you taking up the space. Like, he outright said it like that. And I go, oh, word, thank you. Okay. All right. You don't have to tell me twice, you know? You know, I mean, it was just awful experience, you know, and yeah, exactly. San Diego is not as expensive as New York, and it was certainly a lot easier to get into. You just had to send in your books, and you just had to show that you had new stuff for every year that you were going. That you were going there. And yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure we would have no problem getting into San Diego. But New York Comic Con, friggin' a convention that is just take the train, the 7 train, and you're there, it's right there. Can't get in. And I'm not paying no $2,700 or $25 or $20, whatever, like $2,000 for a table, and I still have to bring my own table. No, screw that. No way. It's like it's like, yeah, you have to ship stuff. Yeah, it's like it's so yeah, so conventions are kind of difficult, and then it's like, it's like, you don't want to be dragging stuff through the subway. You really don't want to be dragging like comic book boxes and stuff through the subway. You really don't, Okay, for instance, being a local in New York, you can just walk into conventions without having to book a hotel. Yeah. And here, especially, hotels are expensive just for being in New York. They don't give a shit about what conventions are in town. You're in New York, Like, I wouldn't even know like how much. Let's see. Joe says, I can afford to go to San Diego and get a hotel for a reasonable price. New York in 2016 was $2,200 for a booth and almost double for a hotel 5 blocks away. Yeah. And it would be 5 blocks away because you're on Javits on 11th Avenue. And yeah, you have to walk to 9th Avenue. And they're long blocks. They're long blocks. You have to walk to 9th Avenue just to even get to kind of like an area with hotels and food. Like, it's not an easy. I mean, I haven't been in that area for a couple of years, so I don't know if they fixed it. If they kind of like built it up since they got the 7 train running there. But yeah, it is not it's not convenient to be, to be in that area with the Javits Center. Even as a local, I would bring my own food. It's like, yeah, walking to Hudson Yards to get to Javits Center. Yeah. It's not convenient. And yeah, I would, it's like, yeah, I mean, really, it's like the blocks of Chicago are just, I don't know, because when we went to Wizard, again, it's like, again, it's, oh, well, okay, it's, walking is exercise. Yes, Yes, walking is exercise. That's why New Yorkers, I think, have like the largest calves. Like we're the Americans with the largest calves because of the amount of walking that we do. I read that somewhere. It's like some stupid tidbit. Yeah, but you know what? It's like when you're working a convention, you don't want to walk that much. Because it's like, like I would be standing, it's like, you're standing on your feet all day, you're on your feet. Well, yeah, okay. Wizards is in the suburbs and not the city itself. Because like, yeah, that was no, but the thing is, though, I kind of remember being in the city, and it was, or at least, I don't know, it's Chicago. I'm not familiar with it, really. We only been there once, you know? And I kind of thought it was smaller. It kind of gave me a feeling that it was smaller. But that just might have been just the city in general. No, I had to have been in the city because I remember we were walking around. Yeah, it's like where those brutalist buildings are. Those oval brutalist condominium things that are there. I remember seeing that, and the river. Oh, it's like I kind of remember that. It's like, yeah, but I don't remember it being like I remember the waterfront. I mean, where's the Field Museum? We went because I remember us going to the Field Museum. So, and it's like I don't remember it being that a lot of walking. Your trains are funky though. I remember the trains being funky. Yeah. But in a good way though. In a good way though. Let's see. What am I up to? Okay. All right. Yeah, but going back to what Okia Fern was saying, it's like, look, when I'm at a convention, I don't want to be walking because I'm on my feet all day. Oh yeah, subway trains. Yeah. No, carrying stuff. No, you don't want to be dragging that stuff on the subway. No, never. Let's see. I want to come back to New York Comic Con, but not for the price of lodging. That dude was right. Rent is too damn high. No, it's crazy here. What is it like? It's okay for. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I pronouncing it wrong? It's Okaifern. Okaifern. Okay. Oh, is that correct? Okaifern. Yeah, I'm sorry. Imagine someone and we've seen it. Yeah, it's like what's the like I had read the average rent here is like $3,500. $3,500 a month, right? And it's like, and there used to be this guy I used to watch on Kai. I have to remember Kai. It's the Kai part that throws me off. Because for some reason I kept seeing IKEA, and that's not it. It's Kai. I have to associate it with something like it's kind of like Kai. Oh, like Hoi. Like, so you had Hoi in the so it's Kai. Okay. Oh yeah, no, the dancers and stuff. I don't. Yeah, no, I don't like those. That's a lot on the E train, especially. The E train sees a lot of that nonsense. Yeah, but they said that rents are like $3,500 a month. So so I was watching this real estate guy on YouTube, right? And he was like saying, and he explained it that like most of these apartments that go for like 35, 4,000. I mean, he literally was showing apartments with $6,000 a month. And he was saying that, yeah, most of these apartments, they get rented by like these tech bros, where it's like either like they have like a contract or something and they just live there for a year and move out, just to say that they lived in New York, and it's like, like it's almost like it's all transient rentals practically, You know, but I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, I mean, that, yeah, the rent is too damn high. You know, there was a reel that I saw on on Facebook, where this guy was living in this apartment building that turns out he was the only person in the apartment building, living in the apartment building. Like, he rent, like, when he was looking for, you know, when he was looking for an apartment, right? The company, I guess, like the management company, said that, oh, this is a great deal. You know, we're selling out fast. You know, it's like you need to jump on it right now. And so that's what he did. It's like, oh yeah, it was in a great neighborhood, you know, and it's like, I guess, I don't know what his budget was or what he was paying for, but you know, what he was paying for the apartment. But you know, um you know, and you know, and then it's like what he realized, and then it's like, you know, he was living there for, I think, like 9 months or something, and he realized he never saw any of his neighbors. Now, in New York, that might not be so surprising, maybe, but he said that because it's like, you know, how many, you know, it's like you really don't know your neighbors, right? But he was talking about he never saw them, never heard them, never saw them, nothing, right? So one day, I guess, like one of these restaurants, it's a guy delivering like restaurant menus, came into the building and put a menu on every door. And he realized his was the only door that didn't have a menu on it, because he had gotten his. And he said that he waited for a week to see if anybody else's menus would disappear. And he said that he like, in a week, none of the doors opened. And he goes, that it's like, look, you can't tell me that everybody in this building went on vacation at the same time. And then that's when he realized that it's like, I'm the only one in this building. You know, and I've heard this story from other people before, where it's like, you know, like the management companies say, oh, you got to hop in now and this, that, and the other thing. And then they realize they're the only person in the building, or it's like them or 2 or 3 other people, but that's it. All the rest of the apartments are empty. Like, not even Airbnb. They're just empty. Right. And that's the thing. And that's the problem, is that a lot of the part of the reason why rents are so high is because 70% of the available real estate in Manhattan is purposefully kept empty. You know, because so that, you know, because if they rented out all their apartments that were available, the rents would drop. But they don't want that. So they keep 70% of Manhattan is technically empty, just so that they could keep real estate. And what is it? And the real estate is owned by like 6 real estate companies, I think. You know, and they do that on purpose. They build those high rises, and like half the high rises is purposefully left empty. You know, I mean, it's like, that's some crazy shit. Like that shit should be illegal. You know? You know, meanwhile, New York has a 1% occupancy rate. Like that should be, and that should be illegal. You know? That only 1% is of apartments are available at any time. 1% of whatever is available. Meanwhile, we have all these empty apartments. You know, like the one, like there was do you O'Kyford. Do you remember the masquerade show, the masquerade shop down around, like, what is it, around, it's near what is it, around like 12th Street or something? It's near Union Square, right? The masquerade, the costume shop, like, it was really iconic. open since the 60s or something. And they closed during COVID. Right. And they pretty much, they couldn't pay their rent, and the landlord kicked them out essentially because, oh, you're not paying rent. So you have to leave, because they couldn't, they had to stay closed during COVID. So they couldn't pay their rent. Do you know that store is still there? Like it was abandoned. Like they were forced to close in 2021 because of the landlord. And like that store, the Masquerade store, is still there. Like exactly the way it was when they closed it. Like the storefronts there, it's not like they closed it up and then they took everything down and they emptied it. I mean, at least that would have shown some effort, right? But no, they had to close in 2021, 2024, and that store is still there like nothing happened. Are you telling me that the landlord couldn't have worked anything out with the store? If they're like the landlord would rather keep the storefront empty than have a paying, or even if they were paying not the full rent, like they were just paying something, right? And but I guess what it is that the landlord probably makes more money on empty storefront as a tax write-off than if the people who owned Masquerade was paying like half the rent. I mean, well, they didn't lock them out from their inventory. Joe says it should be illegal for them to lock them out from the inventory. They had like the closing sales and everything. I mean, they closed as much as they could get. I think they sold most of their shit online and moved the inventory out. But like the store itself is still closed. Like there's nothing replaced it. It's an empty, but like their windows are still there. Like their window displays are still there. The awning with their name is still there. They were just like not allowed to be there anymore. And it's like, what is that, right? Like that should be illegal. Like, how is the landlord? Like, the only thing that I could think of is that the landlord makes more money getting a tax write-off on the full rent than actually getting some money, right? Even if it wasn't the full rent. I mean, that store could have been open this entire time. They could have rebuilt, I mean, yeah, and then it's like, yeah, but rent is $3,500, but to rent a 1-bedroom is $3,500. I mean, not even. Yeah, I think it's a 1-bedroom. It starts at $3,500. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I could only imagine what hotels go for, So yeah, so San Diego Comic-Con in and of itself is a much easier convention to get into, but it's the surrounding everything that sucks. Here, New York Comic-Con is impossible for me to get into, where I have the advantage of living here, and I can't get into New York Comic-Con. Although I'm hoping this year I might be able to get in as a guest of someone who is tabling there, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not going to know. I'm not going to know until later. So I don't know yet. So I might be at New York Comic-Con this year as just as a gopher for somebody, maybe. And being able to like walk around and see everybody, but I'm not sure yet. Yeah, but yeah, but conventions. That's why. That's why. I mean, that's why I'm at a point where I don't do a lot of conventions. You know, honestly, it's like I said, the last convention I did was Baltimore Comic Con, and it was kind of a wash. So, you know, let me just like at least finish outlining her, and then we can call it the end of a stream here. Let me just at least get this okay. Oh, dang. I was wondering why my lines were so thin. I had the wrong setting on. Yeah, that's the only thing. Like sometimes it's like while I'm drawing, I press this button without thinking and it adjusts the size. I'm like, why am I struggling? Why is this line so thin? It's like, yeah, I was on the wrong setting. I'll just go in and fix it. Like I said, we're just on the outline phase now of we're just on the outlining phase. So it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I have to go over the lines anyway. Let's see. Oh, you have it been to the Masquerade store? Yeah. Yeah, but technically it's still there, even though it's closed. And it's been closed since 2021. Yeah, no, the costume store. That's the one that I'm talking about. It's called Masquerade, right? It's the big costume store. They have a goth store next door. So they have the goth store, and then they have the Masquerade store, which is the costume shop. But yeah, because what's ironic about the goth store is still open, I think. You know, let's see. Okay, for instance, I passed by that store the other weekend. Yeah, the costume shop is still around. Wait, is it still open? Because every time I go over there, it's closed. Really? Oh, so then I gotta double check that again, because I would think that it would be really strange that it's still open. Oh well, color me surprised. Okay, I'm completely mistaken then. Oh, you know what they might be doing? Because usually I pass the store because it's a double-sided store, you know, so it could be I just keep passing the back end. Maybe they keep the back end of it closed all the time, and that's what I keep seeing, right? Because it's like, yeah, because it's like that's what I keep passing. So maybe that's why I thought it was closed all this time, because they keep the back of the store closed. I think they had the gate down and everything. So maybe the front of the store next to the goth place, the goth clothing store, maybe that's why I thought it was closed all this time, because I usually don't pass it on that side. 2 entrances. Okay, so that's probably why then. Oh, well, color. Look, then you know what? The next time I see it, we have to go to the other side so we can see the inside again. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, so you know what? Thank you for that information. So next time I see it, we'll make sure to go to the other side because that's probably what's going on. Michael says he has to go to dinner. Well, have fun. I'm just, you know what? I think I'm pretty much done here myself too. Let's take a look here. So yeah, so that's probably what it is. I'm seeing the closed, I'm seeing the closed back door. Oh my goodness. Here I was making such a big deal about it, being bothered by it, and it turns out they were still open the entire time. Go figure. Shows you how much I pay attention, right? But that is good to know. That is good to know. So the next time we happen to be in that area, I'll keep that in mind. It's like, okay, let's go to the front of the store. So it's been because it's obviously been years since I've seen it. So yeah, so that's what we'll do next time. And then it's like I'll report back, you know. That's not what I want. There, yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. I know. Oh, Kai friend says I know the entrance with the Theodore from Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh, okay. I'm always looking at the one that has Padme. It has the Padme costume. That might be the back. That might be the back door. Because I remember it has the Padme costume and like a Jedi costume in the back. So that might be the back door. Oops, here I am running my mouth. And it turns out, oh, oops, I am mistaken. And so, yeah, there's definitely something wrong. Yeah, I think I made her eyes either too small or a little too far apart. That's the other entrance. Ah, okay. Boo on me then for not paying attention. There we go. Okay. So definitely we'll check it out next time then. So that explains everything. That explains it. So they're still open then. They're still open. Because I remember when they had the final sales. So they probably they did make a deal with the landlord then. So good for them. Good for them. So here I am at the end. I think this is just all I've been able to do right now. So I definitely have to fix a couple of things. I hate that the way that it looks right in pencil, and then when I ink it, it's like, oh no, that's not right. I'm definitely, I think I made her eye a little, this one right here, a little too far, so I'm gonna have to bring that closer over there then, because that's really bothering me, because that's obviously wrong. Something is wrong there. But at least we got the main outline done. It just needs a little minor fixing, and then I could just continue inking it. At least have that done. Also that is smaller, so I need to make that larger. So yes, I just have to do a couple of fixes, and and that, so it's coming along. Like I said, I was like, I'm going to ink her first, probably going to color her in first so that I can get a sticker made out of it. And then it's like work the rest of the cover around it. Because then it's like, once I ink in everything else, I could just bring her in and she's already colored. So I could just move on to the other characters. So, which is good. It makes it a lot easier for me. So, so there we go. So that's it, so there we go. It's a start. Look, you should be used to it by now that I don't finish anything on this stream. I'm not like Vess where I can just go the entire stream until for the entire, 4 or 5 hours that she does it until she finishes a piece. I just don't have the stamina for that. It's a lot of sitting, but, so that's So we're just going to put that away, put that back up. Oh, there we go. There we go. So yeah, so it's going to be, trying to make all these. So it's going to be 4 covers in total. And then it's like making them all match, so yeah, so I just want to keep like kind of like the layouts kind of similar. It's just, the elements change. That's all. So yeah, so wow, that was a good conversation, even though we kind of like a little went off the rails there. But boy, do I have pie on my face for the masquerade shop. But you know what? But look, I would rather find out that it's not closed. I was just looking at the wrong entrance the entire time. And there was, that there's one of those, I think, Chuck Jones cartoons. I don't know if it was Chuck Jones, but it's one of those where it's the 2 chipmunks, and one of them gets caught up in a canning machine, and they one of them gets canned, right? So the other chipmunk starts opening up all the cans to find the one that he's in, and finally when he gets to the last one, that's where the other chipmunk was in. And then he goes, oh my goodness, it's like I started at the, it's like, oh my goodness, you were the last can. And then the other chipmunk goes, no, I wasn't, you just started at the other end. So that's what that is. I was looking at the other end of the store. It wasn't closed. I was just looking at the other end. So, so there you go. So, like I said, at least it's something for me to visit the next time I happen to be in that area. So that's good. That's good. At least I wish is the Utrecht still there? Did they close I think they might have closed the Utrecht there. I think they might have. Because there was a Utrecht across the street, but that was years ago. It's like usually I have to go to Dick Blick's now all the way downtown, but that's a different thing. That's a different conversation. It's a different ramble. So I'd like to thank everybody in the chat for joining me and keeping me company for this 2 hours. I want to thank all my beautiful eyeball people for also keeping me company in spirit from regions beyond. Thank you so much. I hope you got your work done while you were listening to this or whatever. It's like whatever you were doing, listening to this, I hope you at least had a good time listening to me ramble, ramble and ink this thing in. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, so let me just get my stuff here. Yes, so I just want to remind everybody that EGORAVEN is back on Kickstarter on June 10th. It is for volume 2. It's volume 2, which collects issues 5. Volume 2, which collects 5 through 8, because I don't want to confuse it with volume 3. Yes, so volume 2 will be back on Kickstarter June 10th. The link is in the chat and in the show notes. Click the link to make sure that you get notified when the campaign goes live. And also, when you go to the landing page, you can download a free issue, a free sample of the first issue of EGORAVEN if you want to try it out. If you're just joining us and you're not familiar with the book, you can download a free issue so you can try it out. And then you can join us on the campaign and pick up volumes 1 and 2 for EGORAVEN. So so let me just set myself up here. Poof and poof. Yes. So thank you again. And if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and you want to see the rest of my portfolio, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook, where I pretty much put up all my sketches and current work in progress. And when I finish this cover, this will also be on the Facebook. Everything that I usually draw and finish, I usually end up putting it on Facebook first before it goes on the website. So I know that makes no sense whatsoever, but it actually does. More people following me on Facebook than anywhere else, actually. So, yeah, and remember that you can catch me back here on my channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art. If you are watching me from Facebook or Twitch, if you want to come over here and you want to subscribe while you're at it, that would be really nice. I usually run these streams like about every other Wednesday. On some occasions, I will like run shows, every Wednesday if I can. But usually it's every other Wednesdays, but it's always on Wednesdays and always at 4 p.m. Eastern. If you want to keep me company for 2 hours, where it's like a convention, but you don't have to leave the table. I don't have to leave the table, and you don't have to worry about blocking the table from people, and we can just have our conversation. And it's like that. So yeah. And remember that I also simulcast through the Indie Comics Network. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified when any of my shows go live on either of that channel. In the meantime, you can read EGORAVEN for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. So there's another way for you to read EGORAVEN before the campaign goes live. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales. That's TAILSonline.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears in the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday. So if you missed the campaign, you can catch up on it. You can catch up on the story on the website. And in a couple of weeks, I will also have the individual issues available on my store as well. So you will be able to pick it up there on the store if you missed the campaign. Yeah, so like I said, also you can catch me also Friday with Nita Lanning on the Rage Into the Vlogs show. So 11 a.m. Eastern. It's just us talking about comics and comics related stuff and stuff that's not usually related to comics, but we hope you have a good time anyway. If you want to watch something else with me rambling on it, because that's how it works. So again, thank you so much for joining me on this stream. It's always fun having you guys around and having such great conversations and getting some work done, even if I don't finish it. But like I said, once I finish the piece, I will be posting it to Facebook so you can see how it goes. So usually with this show, I don't really have a pithy thing to end the show on, but all I can say is thank you so much. Thank you for watching my show. You could be watching anything else, but I really appreciate that you're spending the time with me and watching me work. And and I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week, and I will see you next time.
You are all weirdos. Ugh.